Hey.
And we're live. Welcome, guys, to Talkin Story. And I am here with the wonderful Complete. And we're here to share some of our truths and our medicine in the hope that whatever challenges that we're all going through together, that we can come out of it, especially through these uncertain times. So welcome. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to be part of our talk here. And before we get started, Complete is going to uh, do a sound bath healing for us. So let's do that.
Okay, I'm just sending the message to my group. Yep, done. Post. All right, so welcome. And it's good to see everybody virtually. I hope that you're are all in a good space. And if not, we're just gonna zone in with a meditation or just sound bowls actually. Just kind of focus yourself in your heart and give a moment of gratitude, a moment of being here, being able to be here, and to just center yourself and just be open your minds to what we're going to speak about. And we look forward to seeing any comments, and we'll get to you as we can and try and answer all the questions. So welcome everyone. Welcome. I call you into space here and now with open minds, open hearts, one love, one spirit, one breath. Welcome. They're still singing, they're still singing. Mm.
Thank you. Um, yeah, so today's topic of discussion is discernment. Uh, how to discern whether you are silent or when it's your time to speak. Uh, yeah, did I say that right? Is that um, yeah? So discernment. knowing when's the right time. So I can speak from my own personal experience of that, which is, I guess you could say, when two things come to my mind. One is when you're in a conversation or a situation that, whatever it may be confronting. And, you know, some of us, we may feel activated by a situation or a conversation, or something that's confrontational, and we react. Or you could choose to bite your tongue and remain silent. And how do you know which is the best course to take in that scenario? And that's a tricky one, because for me, there's no right or wrong answer to that. I think it's following what feels right for you, but above all things, coming from that space of the values of compassion, understanding, love, tolerance, gratitude. It's hard to be in that space of thought, especially when you're activated in those circumstances. But that's actually where we tap into our innate power. It's expansive, these values. Expansive meaning it just it gives us a sense of freedom, an inner freedom that gives us the ability to have more insightful thought, be able to see a situation clearer. And that's why it's more advantageous to embody these values that we have, and we will be speaking more on these values of compassion, understanding, unconditional love, tolerance, humility, gratitude. So that's one. And there is a second point, which is my personal experience of it. But before I go into it, could you share more about, because this is something that we've mentioned, or we've spoken about in a previous group call about a scenario. Yeah, would you mind sharing?
Yeah. I mean, like personal power with regards to knowing
That's
when
right.
to
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
So we've been talking in a previous call with our colleague and my mentor Dusty Starb, and talking about the journey of to power, and we, unpacking that word power versus force, personal power and hierarchy power. When you're personally powerful, you don't have to make anybody feel lesser. You don't have to talk down to them, or you accept them as being equal, as on the same level as you. There's no competition. But the hierarchy power is when you use your title or your money or your status or whatever to show up and to force to maybe force your opinion on others or a community or whatever, or a situation. And so we were looking at, how do we master our personal power? How do we tap into our values in any situation? And the reason I was so invested in this subject is dealing with a personal aspect. And it came to me that silence is so powerful, and silence cannot be misquoted, in a sense that that was one of my posts. Silence cannot be misquoted, but if you have something to say it with compassion, with unconditional love, so that you're honoring the person or actually honoring the moment. And so what are you bringing in? What are you inviting people to be able to do and share, to shine their light as well as you shine? So as Dusty says, it's not about making anybody else wrong or yourself wrong. It's about coming and discussing and reasoning and finding a level ground. And silence can be, and again, silence is so powerful. It can, and it's about how do we balance it. You know what's going on in the media right now, dare I say, with Prince Harry and Oprah talking about the elements of people who suffered in silence, not being able to
Right.
speak their truth about their mental health and what's going on for them.
Mm.
Maybe even they having what we say, these spiritual experiences, and don't know how to relate to them or unpack them, or to how what's actually going on in their life. So silence again is again a powerful thing, where we're silent and maybe things are happening. We're having self-realizations about how we're feeling, about um, past and future. Again, the silence of being present, and I'll let you go into that. The importance of being present in the moment,
Mm.
where our power is.
Yeah. I think what I find myself doing is not reacting to a situation, especially when I get activated. So when I say activated, I mean whatever it might be. Let's say COVID. Let's say circumstances happening on the planet where I feel like it's impacting me personally in my personal life. That can be activating. That can make me feel emotions,
Mm,
strong emotions, and the question, or the you have a choice in that situation, which is how do I react in that
mm,
situation, uh, or how do I deal with that situation? And most people, in human nature, I would say, is to react, and generally it's met with anger, resentment, uh, being in the head, full of thoughts circling, and um, and this is where the power of presence comes into it, because if you can be the observer of all of those experiences that are happening within you, that gives you the power then to pivot into a better choice in that moment.
mm,
And that's the nature of life, is it's an accumulation of choices we make. And the choices that we make can be either negative, the emotions that I mentioned, or we can choose to lean into the understanding, the compassion, the tolerance, the humility, the willingness to learn from the situation and extract from that. The willingness to find gratitude in a situation, no matter what it appears to show me. So, some of the events happening in the world today, which is unprecedented. It's hard to see the light
mm,
in, or to see the fine line, to see the gift in the experience of it. But there is, because we know that when we go through pain, when we go through struggle, we grow and we become a better version of ourselves. So just by that notion alone in our day-to-day life, we can deduce that in this world and what's happening with the world circumstances, all of these challenges are actually opening up this gift in us, this empowerment to grow and to be better versions of ourselves, and perhaps even collectively. Perhaps the planet itself isn't, perhaps humanity on the planet itself is not it's in its highest element to be one with the planet, and we need to change our choices so that we're aligned with the planet, and coexist with it. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
There's so many different thoughts going through my head, because I was thinking, we go within in order to find ourselves. And I was then thinking, well, when we go within, how are we looking out on the world, as you say? So I was thinking, then, do we step out of ourselves from that spiritual state in order to have a viewpoint, an overview of ourselves, how we're interacting with others, what's going on in the world, as an observer rather than someone that's got an opinion or is influenced by what's going on in the trend. So it's like going within in order to see the viewpoint. Yeah. Connecting to the above,
Yeah.
to the spiritual, to the energy of Mother Earth, to the ebbs and flows. So it's like, wow, that's what was going through my mind, going within in order to look outwards. So what is our perception from that place of knowing, of being present in that unconditional breath of love and life? I love that. It's like, I have no thoughts, I'm just observing.
Yeah.
My emotions are in that place where I'm just observing. It is what it is. My heart is racing when I feel that. It's like, wow, how powerful is that, to be able to just be in this moment, just to experience it. I'm experiencing you, and you experiencing me, and we're connecting. And that's all that matters at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's a sense of peace, isn't it?
Freedom.
And freedom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is what I find challenging, right? And I feel like this is probably the cause of mental health issues. It's actually losing the presence and being in thought, because we as humanity have we've given power to thinking, and we think that our thoughts is more powerful than our presence. Yeah, I'm just about to sneeze.
That was me earlier. It's you.
Yeah.
When you said that you were talking about the power of thoughts, again, we're going back to the mind and how we can get swept away with society and there's status quo, the status quo of whatever's being presented or trending at that time. And so, again, I'm talking about the heart. So it's like centering in your heart, coming from that heart space, being able to be still and listen because our heart is like our guide when we're in that space. The little messages, the love messages that come in, and I just feel like I wanted to do something really quickly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just feeling this. I just want to take us back into the space of really just listening to our heart and being still, and um, just being present again. So let's just be present again. And then I'm going to speak a few words and take you to a place of where we see our earth in that beautiful space as we connect. Yeah. So as you're focusing and centering in your big, beautiful hearts, and we take the deep breaths into our belly, and we're filling ourselves up with that beautiful light from creator source energy, however you refer to um, the infinite energy. We're also breathing in that beautiful love and light from Mother Earth. And imagine that both lights are just meeting in the heart center. And as we breathe, that light is getting powerful. It's emanating, it's pulsating, and we're pulsing. Our pulses are connected to Mother Earth and that of the universe. And as you're breathing, you can feel your whole body fill up with that light. Feel the light spreading down your arms to your fingertips, to the palms of your hands, down your body to the soles of your feet as you connect to Mother Earth. You're feeling that ebb and flow through your body to the crown of your head as it flows through from source. And your whole body is lit up. And as you're imagining and you're using the power of your imagination and your senses, I invite you to imagine you in the space, how you how you show up in this world. Imagine yourself in the different parts of the world, and we're all connecting with one mind, one energy, one love, one breath, one light. And imagine our lights connecting as a network of love, a network of consciousness, a network of healing, breathing life into each other, the earth. As we said, we're looking over the earth, connecting with Mother Earth. And as we're doing this, we're forming this beautiful color dome around the earth. Imagine we all represent a different light, rainbows, lights, and we're connecting. See the network ebbing and flowing. Imagine that you're connecting with loved ones across the globe. And I'm in London, and Phil's in Melbourne, and we're connecting to one another through our loving energy, through the process of just being in this moment. What can you see? What can you feel? How does your body feel? How does your heart feel? How are you presenting at this time? As you breathe, the energy is ebbing and flowing. Your auric field is getting bigger and brighter. And that dome is bright. And everything within it is healing. Everything within it is loving. Everything is breathing together. Can you imagine that? It just takes agreement in a moment that we're honoring here and now as we connect. I can feel my friends across the globe in the States. I can feel my family in the Caribbean, my friends in Europe. Who can you feel in this moment? Who do you want to send unconditional love to? Who do you want to wrap your arms around, your spiritual arms around? That loving energy of touching, letting them know that you're there and you care. Can you imagine what they're feeling as they feel your love touch their heart or wrap around them? As we connect to Mother Earth and the energies of the plants and the animals, to see their light, their ebbs and their flowing as it connects, just like the trees connect, their roots connect, the sea connects with the land. How powerful that is in this present moment. The power of imagination, the power of intention. I call us back into space here and now. And I thank you.
Thank you.
How did that feel for you?
Yeah, I felt like I went inwards and I saw this image in my mind. It was like this is an auric field with different colors, like the colors of the rainbow, but it's like there was a core center, and then around that was like another auric field, and then another and another, and in all various colors. It was, yeah, it was quite powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm seeing the comment. Don't know. Can I get into it? Thank you, Greg. I felt your energy. I felt.
Of course.
Yeah, I felt you, Greg. Just shout out to one of our soul family.
Yes.
We love you. We love you.
Yeah. So.
I know. We just want to just be silent, right? Just want to just connect. But we're talking about the power of silence. You know, let's go to that place where maybe to the other side of where where people can control us through silence. You know, we're scared to express who we are because of maybe what's happened to us, and so we're allowing somebody else's actions to mute us, to mute our voice, because we feel that we haven't got that power to express ourselves, maybe through guilt or shame or there's so much going on in the world about that right now, and I don't want to talk politics or what's going on, but it is something that's really factual. How many people are being held prisoner within the silence of not being able to express themselves? I know from personal experience, you know, my past trauma, you know, a relationship I was in, and not being able to speak my truth, for fear of making the other person feel that they've, you know, what they perceived from it, like me shining my light.
Yeah.
They felt less than, even though I'm inviting them in. And so the power was forceful, physical, mental, emotions. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking about all those people, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a working relationship, whether it's you belong to a specific family and there's that control. You're not, we're supposed to do things a certain way. You can't be seen to be doing that. You can't be seen to be vulnerable. When again, we know that vulnerability is strength. Because when we're vulnerable, we allow other people to be vulnerable and to share their
Yes.
and to speak. So over to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Vulnerability is a strength. why that would be the case is because what is vulnerability? It's allowing yourself to be seen, and you're not afraid of being received in any which way.
Mm.
I
love
and that's the thing. Like, me growing up, I grew up with in a very patriarchal culture, where man was the male figure, was the leader of the family, made all the decisions, and very repressive, forceful. And yeah, like I found myself growing up, it was actually hard to express myself, to speak, because I had accumulated or developed over the years this this silence to rather than actually express myself the way that I want to, and be shot down for it. It's better to remain silent. And yeah, and that's really, it's really hard, like, to break out of that pattern. Now, I've done a lot of work to break through that, and it's an ongoing process, because I don't truly believe you can completely heal yourself as long as you're in the human body, right? There's always levels to go, but yeah, it's hard to break out of these patterns. And what I see in my life, there's a parallel to, the patriarchy that I described is also the same patriarchy that I feel like I'm witnessing, experiencing through law enforcement, through the decisions made on behalf of society, all of these things. And perhaps even each of us, we feel, in our personal lives, there's a connection there between feeling the sense of being forced upon, and also literally with how life is playing out at the moment, we're feeling that same thing too. And this is a really hard thing to accept. It's like, how do you take power from that force, that sense of repression, or that sense of control? How do you take power from that? And I find that the more that I resist those kind of situations occurring in my life, it just creates more resistance. It creates more problems. And I feel like I'm actually losing my power when I do that, which is funny, because it doesn't appear that way. Like, if I subdue myself to control, if somebody is telling me I shouldn't do this, or someone is forcing something down my throat, if I resist that in that moment, what actually is happening internally to me is it's actually disempowering. I'm talking about what's happening internally, right? What's happening internally is I'm actually feeling disempowered. So how do I actually feel empowered in that moment? Is actually to let go and to just receive that. So hard.
Yeah. It's Yeah, it is hard, and life can be challenging in that sense. And we talked about the thoughts, and as you're speaking, what I was thinking is that the when we're not speaking our truth, we're suppressing our voice, that internal voice. And when we're suppressing that internal voice, or well, the external voice, but the so we're suppressing the external voice, but the internal voice is and then what's that doing? It's like we're scripting in our heads. We're scripting, well, as you say, we're resisting. So what we're resisting is persisting. So it's a vicious circle. And then you start that's when you start going into what like tapping into what's going on in society. What people are saying. Again, where it's a vicious circle of we're either going to be one way or another. We're either going to be against the enforcement of the control, or we're going to then exert our control by trying to control not to be controlled. So it's like, wow. And as you said, when you internalize that, it creates a disempowerment, a dis-ease. We become ill, we start having headaches, we can't breathe, and then again, it's all that kind of emotions and feelings is festering, and it turns again that 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 feeling of not feeling well, not feeling at peace. So I would say it's like in that moment, as you say, let go. The power to let go, to trust who you are and how you're showing up by responding rather than reacting. We
So,
respond to the situation with love.
so, so yeah, I just feel really like called to share this because I feel like this conversation is coming up for a reason, and I feel like it's coming up because there's certain things that are happening at the moment in the collective,
Mm.
um, which is bringing this up. And yeah, I think we should discuss it.
Okay.
It's this, um, it's this issue of being vaccinated. Um,
Are you going to ask my opinion on it? I hope you don't, because
I
I've had a few
think
arguments on
it's
that one.
healthy to. I think it's good to have an open discussion. Now, I know your personal journey, and you've been through quite a bit. So, from my perspective, getting vaccinated wouldn't be a huge thing, right? For me, being vaccinated would be a big deal. Something. Well, what's your position on that, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, so let's tell a little story. Yeah. So let's tell a little story as human beings. You know, our bodies have been made to heal themselves once we tap into what Mother Earth and Mother Nature and the different things that we Creator, Source, God has given us everything to heal ourselves. Yeah. And when we look at the history of those who used to heal from that perspective, they were either called witches and whatever, burnt at the
Mm.
stake, and we were taken away from that natural connection with God, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And as time progressed, again, maybe other people came in with other ideas of using man-made stuff to, do you know what I mean? Things that don't belong in the body. So I trying to kind of be trying to speak my truth, but not to upset anyone. um, but I believe that we heal ourselves in the sense once we use the right things to heal ourselves. Yeah, we might
Mm.
have some things work medically. Well, you're medically trained, so you know how I feel about certain things, about different poisons that are put in our body that destroy the good cells as well as the bad cells. When there's a natural process of being able to alkaline the body and to change acidity to your bloodstream and your organs and whatever. I know I'm not answering the question, but I would say,
I would say
am
yes. It's a
am I
no.
answering the question? Kind of.
So you're a no to the vaccinations. I'm a no as well. How would I best explain my position here? I have a sense of self-belief in my body to heal itself. And I find that it's linked to this presence, this feeling, this sense of peace within myself that gives me that ability to take command of the way that my body is behaving. Now, this might in a medical sense, this has not been explained, and hasn't been explained to the T. Like, for whatever reasons, and I think it's because it's this kind of information is perhaps it's highly evolved information, or it's another level in cosmic intelligence, which medicine does not account for, right? Because medicine is based on, and medicine is just one facet of the way that humanity functions, because even like religion and can't think of other dogmas, but we use our brain, we use our thoughts to make sense of our reality, and part of that process of using our thoughts is having to have proof that this is true. And that's the way that medicine functions. We need proof, we need evidence to suggest that this is true. But that's not the way that cosmic intelligence works, because cosmic intelligence doesn't require any proof, because it is the proof itself. And so this is where we butt heads. This is where the conflict, internal conflict, arises for everyone. Because if you're someone that has self-belief that, why should I take something that I feel I don't need? Because in a sense, if I was to take something, a medicine that I don't need, then what am I actually saying? I'm saying that I'm afraid. I'm afraid to get sick, right?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm fearful.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, if I'm afraid, then I know that when I'm afraid, I make poor decisions. When I'm afraid, I may feel ill in some way. Like my body doesn't feel like it's optimal when I'm in a state of fear. And I think that medicine does account for, like, fear, anxiety, stress. These things are interrelated with hormonal production and things like that, blood pressure, signal, cascading of signals in the body. So to that extent, there is a correlation, but I suppose the governing system in medicine has not thoroughly researched and shared information, or has not researched into that as much as should be invested in. um, and I'm just speculating on that too. So, I don't know, but that's the issue. Now, the reason why I raise this up is because, I don't watch the news too much, but I do get information here and there, like through social media. I'll see someone posting something, and it's come to my attention that, in America, for example, there's the government is sort of giving the population an ultimatum to take the vaccine or not. I don't know if that's true. If anyone's watching, if they have any insight on that, please share. But yeah, like, and this is like in Australia, this has been like last year. That was a debate amongst people. Is like, like the government is saying, it's going to be mandatory, meaning, you have to take the vaccine or else, or you're not able to travel or whatever. So yeah, there's and you've got people on both sides of that argument. It's like there's those that are actually afraid, and you can't. It's hard to debate that, because there are people that, and I know people personally that have family members that died of COVID, right? So here's the thing, right? So people are actually getting sick from COVID as well. And it's also proving to be fatal. So from that perspective, a person can say that, yeah, I'm actually afraid, and I'm rightly so. It's responsible to protect myself, and also this is where the lines get muddy. It's like, protect myself and protect the population. But again, from the divine perspective, souls being birthed into the body as sovereign entities. The one protection, self-love, is like, I make decisions for myself. I protect myself. If I protect myself, if I do what's right for me, then automatically that has a knock-on effect with everything around me as well. Which is, for me, is actually, that's the truth. It's like, if I look after myself, if I nourish myself, if I do what's right for me, then I'm happy, right? And that happiness is the key. It's like, if everyone, stopped pandering to their outside circumstances and just listened to what's true for them, everyone would be happy. Everyone would get along, and all of our differences wouldn't matter. It's like, I respect your difference because you're not imposing your opinion or your differences onto me, right? You respect my difference. In fact, it's not even respect. It's actually, I'm in awe of the emanation that you are, for the different expression that you are. Mm-hmm. Because why would you want to be the same?
Yeah. Yeah. Before, I'm going to share this with you. Before COVID-19 kind of broke out into the media and everything else, my whole family were really, really ill. Yeah, really ill. And when we look back on everything, It was all the symptoms that people were experiencing: not being able to breathe, dizziness, can't walk, can't stand, in bed for days. Um, my daughter was away and she was suffering by herself in her uni accommodation. My other daughter, again with her children, she was really unwell. And so what we did, we're not thinking, oh, it's COVID, or whatever. We just went straight into the remedies that we know. So, we're inhaling the peppermint, the steam inhalation, where we'll knocking each other, where we're beating on the back, all those things that we knew about, what we know about from before having colds and other viruses. Yeah, this is what we implemented, and we kind of, when I say we've come through it, we haven't been taking any kind of other medication. Maybe we might have taken Lemsip or paracetamol, but we didn't have to have anything else. We just kind of nursed the fevers and we did everything that we're supposed to do. Yeah. And I can imagine that if this had, if the news of it had broken out before we were ill like that, we may have bought into, oh my God, this is so bad. And the fear would have come in and we would have reacted in that way. Do you see where I'm going with that? So
Totally.
I mean, I was worried. My son in particular was very, very ill, to the point where he's falling in my arms and I'm kind of bathing him down and I'm fanning him. And it was like, what the heck is going on? And then it was then revealed that this virus is happening. Again, I think I may have mentioned it in our other talks. I don't know if it's on this platform, that I experienced a really bad virus in 2005, 6, I think it is, where I lost my sight.
Wow.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing you now. It was 3 months of total like blindness, couldn't see, just saw like what I saw was like binary codes. Yeah, that's all I could see. The pain was so immense, but I was just in that moment. I was doing what I could do. I was being looked after, loved, cared for. Some people couldn't come and see me in that situation because they were like so used to seeing someone that's sort of always helping other people and putting other people before themselves, and really not kind of taking care of myself. That taught me a big lesson. I had to start taking care of myself, start looking at what's going on for me emotionally. What was I, so I would say the personal development came from those experiences of saying, well, what is actually going on in my mind, my body? What caused this? Yeah. And I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't tuning into to God, infinite source, the creator, to being in that space. I was always worrying. I was always thinking about my past. I was always feeling, ashamed or guilty and all those things about what happened to me when it wasn't even, my fault. So now I'm very much like, it is what it is. And I invite other people to be in that space. When I'm working with other people, this is where I want to bring them to. I want to bring them to that peace and tranquility. I want to move them away from your, what I say, your history holding you hostage. Yeah. And then the fear of the future. Our future is now. Our future is now in the present moment, and how we're responding and how we're treating ourselves and how we're loving ourselves and how we're showing people how to love us and how we're showing people how to love themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I talk about with the connection.
It's exactly, there's, this is what I found, right? It's when you connect into this divine presence in yourself, it's actually you have this, it's like you get this boost of energy, or you get this strength where whatever pains or whatever things might be happening in your life or what's happening to your body, you're able to not only withstand the pain, but actually to a point where there is no pain, there is no, and that's what I found. It's actually, the key is actually to go within, to be in the moment, to that connection. And yeah, it's I think scientists would describe that as like a theta or delta state.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's like when you'll find that when you tap into that frequency, these things don't affect you, right? And I don't know what studies there are around this, but I would say that there's a good chance that when you're in that state, your body would be able to respond to that, because just generally, when you're in a good state, your everything that you do in your life, it's also a reflection of that state, and your body as well. How you experience your body is a reflection of that state. So yeah, there's a lot of truth in this. Yeah.
Yes, as you're speaking and you're talking about the theta and beta state of mind, I would call that will. The will. So you're connecting to source. You're connecting to the energy and the power and the trust and the faith. Yeah, and you see nothing else. And so we think about all those miracle stories that you hear when people have had to cut off their own limb in order to survive, and they've gone about sharing and changing people's lives from their own experiences and things like that. When we do the meditation, I mean, I just love being in that space of the breath, the power of the breath, the power of gratitude. When I say to clients that, when you're feeling anxious, just take that moment and just breathe in and say thank you. Thank you for that breath. In that moment, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And I would say, I mean, with all the things that I have been diagnosed with, with regards to my spine, nerve damage, and all that sort of thing. And years ago, before the virus hit me, but I was addicted to painkillers until I had organ failure. So then I was on 24-hour watch and whatever, and then it's like I can no longer take a certain medication because my body now reacts to it. I go through daily pain, but I ease it with the breath. I ease it with meditation. I ease it with positive thoughts. I ease it. Sometimes I'm like, oh. And then when I remember the power that I have to dissipate the pain or disperse it, then that's what I do. There'll be, and guess what? When I'm having a bad day, it's because I'm being influenced by the external.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always the case.
Okay.
It's always the case. Yeah.
When I'm having a bad day, I've seen something on the news or something's happened. You remember the pain, and then you forget your personal power, your breath, and you're starting to feel you're buying into again what's going on.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
It keeps coming back. It keeps coming back to show you that you have that personal power with the breath.
That's right.
With centering, with being present, with just smiling from your heart and deciding to be at peace, deciding that, you know, it's choice. We talked about choice when we first started. The choice.
Yes, that's
It's
right.
choice is a powerful thing. And I'm getting a tickly throat. I think there's something else I'm supposed to say, and I don't know what it is.
Well, we're at an hour, and we could keep going.
Let's say I love you. That's it. I love you.
Yeah.
I send unconditional love, peace, and tranquility. I love you.
I love you too, Complete. Yeah, and I just to sum up our discussion here, silence. How to discern when to be silent and when to speak your truth. And this is the test that individually I feel we're all going to face, as well as collectively, which is all one and the same, because, yeah, as you mentioned, what's happening externally is going to affect what's happening in your personal day-to-day life as well. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future as well. That takes me away from the present moment. So I guess just got to experience this life and take in the moment that it is and see what unfolds. That's the best that I can, that's what I can offer here, is that's all what, that's actually that's the door to freedom, because so when you go inwards and you be you stay there in that present state, there's another insight, there's another revelation, there's another aspect of self and the world that is unseen, that reveals itself, and that revealing of information gives you another choice, which is empowering. It might not appear that way, and that's the test. It's like, these things are happening, I'm feeling triggered, I'm getting triggered, activated by all of these things happening. Do I react to that, or what do I do? Do I react to it, or do I stay calm? and that's not to say you do nothing, but I think the first thing that each of us should be doing is coming back home to ourselves, and that's where you will know the right answer. This conversation is pertinent for me because I'm actually meeting with a friend today who is very, very philosophical, and I'm sure we'll have a discussion on this because I don't know what his beliefs are around this, but yeah, and he's in law enforcement, so
Okay.
yeah. So,
You know, what I would like to do is, again, is just take us, if we can kind of center ourselves in the space and kind of just connect energetically, with love to everyone across the globe. And I think Stephanie's listening in as well. So sending Stephanie and Greg and Rick and Stephen and all those.
that's the expression of sending blessings and love. Yeah. It's sprinkling
I like
magical
that.
dust.
So So I just would like us, so we just, namaste. I'm going to just play, and you can just end the broadcast when you want to end the broadcast. But we're sending unconditional love to everyone, and we're connecting spiritually on a higher level, bringing everybody to self, bringing everybody, and it's being self-full, not being selfish. Self-full with that unconditional breath of love and light, acceptance, peace, tranquility, allowing, openness. It is what it is. We're flowing, ebbing and flowing with Mother Earth, ebbing and flowing with the cosmic energy, God, the universe, our angels, archangels, the ascended masters, our ancestors, our spirit guides, whatever you connect with. Yeah. Okay.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Thank you, Complete. Thank you guys for watching. And till next time on Talkin' Story.